What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, bringing you one of the duels from this weekend's remote duel Extravaganza for the UK. I am on the left playing Dinos, and to the right my opponent is playing Drytrons with, as you can see, the Red Eyes fusion engine. So he obviously hasn't opened up too well. To get the Drytrons moving, you do need two Drytrons. So the fact that he's having to hard cast Red Eyes Fusion is obviously an issue straight away, because he doesn't know what I'm playing. So the second he realises it's Dinos, he knows he's in a bit of trouble, because obviously if he doesn't negate the right thing with Dragoon, everything else will then fall into place for the Dinos. So you actually have a lot of abilities to kind of bait out, depending on what your opening hand is and everything like that. You actually have the ability to bait out quite a lot. In regards to like facing one negate, you're fine. So activates miscellaneous, and that one kind of goes through, which was surprising. So I was assuming that he's holding out for something, because ultimately all I need to do is normal summon something, and then he'll stop. Like, then I can get another miscellaneous. So normal summon overact to get another miscellaneous. This one he allows to go through as well, so this gives me the Archosaur. Archosaur is then going to pop. I can't remember exactly what my opening hand was. I think there was a baby involved in there somewhere, kind of something like that. So Archosaur effect go off, obviously destroying baby in hand, which is fine. So I'm already a step ahead on that one. Again, this is allowed to go through, searches out the pill. I'm assuming that the plan is to wait and stop the pill, because if he stops the pill, then I've got no way of getting past Dragoon itself. So play continues to go on. Normal summon the Oviraptor that special summon the Oviraptor that came off of baby. Oviraptor's effect goes off to get Giant Rex. Now this was just me trying to set up. Now what I probably should have done is sent the Giant Rex, because I had the pill in hand. So obviously you send the Giant Rex, you banish for cost, and then Giant Rex would guarantee to come back. But again, I still have my normal summon, and I'm just trying to find ways of outing that Dragoon to get to the UCT, just not even the Dragoon itself, but just the Dragoon effect. So I end up normal summoning the Rex, which again, this is where the mistake happened, was the fact that I could have saved it and put it in the graveyard. And again, I was trying to find ways of kind of I was now forcing myself to try and get Rex into the grave, which was a bad idea. So now I'm just trying to work out exactly the route to kind of take, because the Dragoon negate is still on there. I know he's trying to save it for the pill. So I put Lambda on there because I've got a Gamma in hand. So the idea is that even if this was to be negated by Dragoon, I can still negate Dragoon's effect. So there's the Gamma. I think annoyingly I had the driver in hand. So he's thinking on the effect of Gamma, which is a little bit scary. Because this is what I need to go through, and he's got Herald of Orange Light, and I was just like, oof, yeah, that really sucked. I still get Rex back, which is absolutely fine, and I still have access code, so I can continue to link climb into access code, which I believe is exactly what I do, just to get rid of the Dragoon. But you can see that his entire hand is gone, and he's only got that one Drytron in the grave. So if he top decks a Drytron next turn, he's going to be pretty much be able to just go off. So I'm just trying to find ways of getting my access code to be strong enough, because obviously now Dragoon is 4k. The only card in my extra deck that can be over it is, of course, going to be access code. So I either hard make it and make it a 43, or I link up with Lambda to make it Unicorn, to then, which is exactly what I do without using the Unicorn effect, and then go into access code. So this wasn't the ideal scenario, but it was a route that I had to take. Now, I could have done this route. What I should have done is done this route before the Gamma, but obviously I didn't know he had the Herald of Orange Light. So, yeah, that's where it kind of not sucked, but that's kind of where I had to deviate from the original plan to kind of move that way as well. And then pass. Now, I've got a strong access code, but again, all he needs to do is draw a Drytron. If he draws a Drytron or Benten, he can pretty much go off from there. But again, sadly, I don't think he does. And that's the big difference between how good Drytrons can be and how they can really bite you in the backside. So he's got the Nova, which the Nova gives him a second Drytron, but I've got the Ash. So it's like, even if you get somewhere, there's not really any way you can go. Now, he can use the Drytron in grave, to summon itself back, which will give him a ritual spell, but I don't know what he's... I think it's like a herald. I don't think there's anything too amazing for him on that one. Again, I haven't got the resources in the graveyard now. Well, I've got the resources in the graveyard, but I haven't got the... it was Dawn Knight. So he's going to trigger Dawn Knight's effect to send, which will set him up with second Drytron for the next turn. Now, he's only taken 1,300 at the moment. So there's still a lot to kind of... to happen from this point on. And it really depends. Again, I can't remember exactly what I drew into. You would like to think that in Dinos you draw into a starter when you're playing like free Fossil Dig, free Miscellaneous, free Overraptor. So like you like to think you've got the resource to make it. So he's banishing 2 fairies to trigger Eva's effect. So he has to banish the Herald of Orange Light and the Vanity's Ruler. And this gives him 2 searches. So he gets an orange and a purple. So he's got a monster negate in the form of the orange, and he's got a trap negate in form of the purple. Now, obviously, the trap negate is a little less relevant for me because I'm not going to be... like, I'm going... Game 1, I'm not going to have any side deck of traps in, apart from, like, infinite impermanence. So that would be the only reason, and it's still quite a big... negative for my opponent to lose 2 cards to stop an imperm. So I poke for 53 with the access code because I know he's got the Herald, and I think that's a baby. I think that's either like petite or baby. Like there's no other card that you'd want to set, and obviously keeping in mind that Herald of Orange Light is going to wipe out the effect of whatever I do. And again, like I said, his graveyard's pretty much stacked, so all he needs to draw is a Ben 10 or another Drytron, or a way to get to a Drytron in the form of 2 more Novas left in his deck, 3 Alphas, I think it's like average of 2 Gammas. So he gets into the Alpha, tributes the Alpha from the hand to bring back the Zeta. The Zeta's going to get him a ritual spell, and then he'll have the ability to tribute the Zeta to get him a ritual monster. So it's not the best of openings, but you've got to keep in mind as well, I've only got, I think I've got 2 cards left in hand. So anything else he chooses to activate, like if I choose to activate an Ash or a Gamma or anything like that, he's got the Herald of Orange Light and he's got the Herald of Purple Light as well to stop both of them. So anything I do use is probably going to get destroyed. So this is the part where he can kind of go off. The question is really, is his build playing anything that can get past the 53 access code? And of course with Natasha around, she is incredibly powerful because Natasha can... as long as you get Natasha to the graveyard, she can use her effect to target access code and take control of access code. And he obviously has the ability to gain life points as well with Natasha. So, and when you're looking at stuff like Drytrons, you're always going to be gaining 1,000 life points. So by triggering off the Drytron, he uses Natasha. Natasha then uses her effect to gain him more life points. So after gaining a bit of life points, he can now use the ability to normal summon purple, and then he's going to link 2. So he goes into the card that looks like a Gem Knight but isn't a Gem Knight. I think it's just the ability of getting a link 2 to the board, basically. But it also puts Natasha in the graveyard, and this is where obviously Natasha can really, really work. And he misplays on this one because obviously with Natasha you need another Cyber Angel, and he didn't have it. So he scoops it up on that one, and we move into game 2. So straight into game 2. I think we're only like 10 to 15 minutes on the clock, so there's plenty of time left in the game. My opponent goes first, and he's opened up the Ben 10 and he's opened up the Zeta. Now luckily I've opened up the Diddy Crow, so through this tournament the ruling was that if something would resolve on a secondary chain and you were to remove it from the place where it triggers, it would no longer get the effect. So by basically Diddy Crowing Ben 10, he won't get the Ben 10 search effect, he'll only get the Zeta search effect, which gives him the Drytron ritual spell. Now obviously the reason you want to stop Ben 10 where at all possible is Ben 10 can get another version of herself, so she can help deck Finn, set up a graveyard for Natasha plays, but on top of that she also has the ability to either search out a Manju, which can be the only normal summon, or the Vanity's Fiend, and that's where it will lock you out of special summoning. And the worst thing for Dinos is to be locked out of special summoning, because their strongest monster is only going to be a Giant Rex if you've banished stuff, or an Overraptor like 1800, and even then when you mix it with Lost World, your opponent's only going to be down by 500, so they're still going to beat you by 200. So he uses Gamma's effect. This gives him the 2 monsters on the board, and he's going to go into Union Carrier. Oh no, sorry, he goes into Verte Anaconda. So he goes into Verte Anaconda, pays the 2,000 life points to get himself a Red Eyes Dragoon. Now, obviously, the idea is that you kind of want to back a Red Eyes Dragoon up with a Vanities. That's kind of where it will get really, really cool. But I don't think you can or in one turn. But the idea is Vanity is going to stun you enough to win the game, or Dragoon is going to be able to more consistent basis. If you don't get the Ben 10 off as an option D, gives you more to play. So open up with the Extravagance. My Extravagance pulls throughout this, like draws throughout, not draws, but like banishes throughout the entire day really sucked. Like every time I was losing my boss monster, or I think one time I lost both Link Karibos or both Shakur Gardeners, but kept the Link Karibos. So he Dragoons the Extravagance, and then again I've got the Gamma. Like Gamma puts in so much work throughout this entire tournament. So for that I really am grateful. And it's something that I've learned a lesson for. So a shout out to Ben on this one, who plays Dinos, in the sense that they play so many cards that they can play without putting a monster on the board, that Gamma is like one of their best hand traps, especially when you're facing stuff like VFD, you're facing stuff like less so the Vanities, but VFDs, X, or anything like that, you always put your opponent on the back burner, in the sense that they've got to be very careful, because if you imperm and then Gamma, you can really like put them in a tight situation and pretty much in a way bait them out. So from here, I'm in a very good position, in the sense that Dragoon's Negate's gone. I'm not worrying about that. All I've got to worry about is that one set card, because that one set card can be pretty much anything. So if I go too far, I'll be in a bit of danger. So normal summon the Overraptor, and then the question is, like, is it a judgment or anything like that? If not, I'm then going to obviously activate Misk to protect it, and all my dinos are now safe during the main phase, which means I can get rid of Dragoon in a flash, because I can UCT it, flip it face down. I've got full combo here, plus I've got 2 additional materials in the form of Gamma and Driver. So banish the Misk, do the full combo. So the only thing that I need to really worry about now is if he has like a DD Crow, Call by the Grave, anything like that, which if you're going to do that, you hit the Misk on it straight away. So Archsaw's effect is going to go off, popping the baby in the hand. This is just going to give me even more like plus, because I'm going to get Pill, and I'm also going to get another Dino, which can probably be Rex, and that gives me now all I've got to worry about is like Herald of Orange Light and stuff like that, but that's not going to come to the battle phase. So now I don't really need to pick stuff off, but what I should have done is I went into Unicorn when I could have gone into Phoenix, but it does the same job. This is just to try and get rid of the back row. So I've got 2 pills. He's thinking on the summon of Unicorn, which basically just saves me my discard fodder. It is a judgment, so he decides to take the life point damage and judgment it out. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I would have left it and let the judgment go, but then you're leaving a 2200 monster on board. But at this point, I'd pretty much done everything I needed to do. Like I've put a non-dino in the graveyard, in the forms of like Gamma and Driver's in the graveyard as well. So if I do have another Gamma, I'm good to go. Pill can do the job. Overraptor targeting Rex to pop it. Now, obviously, the reason to do that is literally to put Rex in the graveyard so that I gain an additional monster. So I've gained Baby on the board as an additional monster. Now, obviously, if I had Misk or anything else in that, then I would have brought that back. But this just gives me another monster to the board. Bringing Rex back. Of course, Rex can't attack directly, but UCT is going to clear that board off. So all I need to do is get in a game attack. So I use UCT to pop the baby to flip Dragoon, because again, it's on 3k. I'm only going to do 500, so having it face down is going to get me more, which gives me the Misk. And again, this just builds my board up. So all I now need to do is, because Rex can't attack directly, is turn Rex into something stronger. And by that, what I mean is I'm going to be able to go Dolka, which basically upgrades my Overraptor. UCT sends the face down for 1,000, attacks Verte for 3,000, and then the rest goes in for game. And sadly, my opponent just didn't open up enough Drytrons to play the Drytrons. Anyway, that was it for the first game of the Extravaganza. If you do want to see more, get this video up to 50 likes, and I'll be able to bring you more Extravaganza duels. It of course will be me playing Dinos, but I'll show you obviously my wins, my losses, and do more commentary as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Tomorrow will be of course Christmas Eve, so for all of you getting excited or wanting just to have the day off, we do wish you all the very happy holidays. As absolutely always, guys, stay safe and happy dueling.